Hello my fellow pros players, we're back with Bronze 2GM and this time we're in top diamond and we want to try to get to Master League. So let's get going. We have a little PvZ against Whelp to kick things off. I'm redoing this video actually because I was done recording. I was like, oh, I recorded for an hour, I should be done for today. And then it said, oh, your hard disk drive doesn't have enough space. So I was like, do I jump off a bridge or do I redo the video? Technically I could still do both, but I decided to actually redo the video. So kicking things off, we have a little PvZ, of course. We want to try to learn how to play proper builds because, man, we're reaching almost masters at this point, so we cannot really fool around and play randomly and hope for the best. Now we actually need to play according to what science says, and what science says is in this matchup, at least PvZ, you need to open up with a Stargate if you want to put yourself in a fine position. The reason why we do that is because, well, the Oracle will provide a lot of scouting potential and also be extremely effective at defending any sort of all-in, you know, Zerglings and so on. So the hatchery is over here, it's taking a gas, so I don't need to worry about anything of that sort. Nexus 20, Nexus 20, as they say in Germany, 420. And I just want to open up with Oracle and then I will follow up with Blink. It's actually very, very popular nowadays and it's a playstyle that's very reliable. I don't want to over control my units over micro, right? We're still at 4K MMR. I'm not gonna play like max packs, obviously. I want to make it as doable as possible for anyone at this level as of now. So I will probably stay a bit more defensive than what you would see professional players do. But if you feel comfortable with your micro, if you want to go for it, then do not hesitate a tiny bit. So Chrono Boost the Nexus. As the pylon finishes, we go Stargate before Warp Gate so that our Oracle can be as fast as possible. Then we go into Warp Gate, research, there you go. Take a moment to hotkey the Stargate, and then my probe is just patrolling around to see if my opponent is actually sending Zerglings my way. There's only 2 Zerglings, I've been sticking around for a long time, no Zergling has been made, so I can just safely send my Adept across the map because I know no extra link actually came my way. I will get to kill this too. Okay, there we go. And I will just make sure the third base has been placed by my opponent. So, Oracle is started, Chrono Boost it, and I'm gonna get a little pylon over here. I don't need to wall just yet because I've got the vision. If a crypt tumor is being placed like this, carelessly, just snipe it. How many drones? Not that many. Interestingly enough, not that many drones just yet. I'm gonna go and check if my opponent made a lair, because I suspect this amount of drones is actually very little. Let's see. Ah, I see 2 drones going down this route, so it's very likely that my opponent actually kept on making drones. So I will just assume this is a normal macro game. I will boost the second Oracle and use my first Oracle to safely expand. I will bring this Adept and that Oracle while still building workers, of course. Our priority is to make as many probes as possible. So I'm not cutting. Okay, pylon glued to my base, and now I can go up there on the map while still making workers, and I'm not stopping. Oh, motherfucker! I knew it. Look, so I'm just gonna get an extra Oracle. I will cancel my probes, put a Stalker in the wall. Stalkers, they tank way more than Adepts in the wall like this. So this is what you want to do. My Oracles are just gonna snipe this. And I could just give up my third, but because my testosterone levels are higher than average, I'm actually gonna try and save it. All the bendings have been sniped, I don't even need to look at it. Oracles will just kill stuff on their own. My Oracle spawns and I should just be able to kill those enemies. Now, here's the caveat. I wanna get a battery over here because a battery plus Stalker is basically infinite HP to heal from, especially against bait. I wanna keep on going with my build. Double gas, and the logical follow-up would be Twilight and Forge. Because of all the skirmishes that have been going on, I've got a bit more minerals than I would usually do, So I'm gonna already get my extra gates. There you go, I'm still making workers. So what I can do is just split my oracles. So I've got vision on both sides. Okay, make sure you put your probes inside the geyser. You can chrono boost your probes a little bit, like this, to rapidly saturate that third. That's the goal. Now I'm gonna go on the map with my oracles because I want to know what's going on next. Is my opponent actually gonna try to all in again, or is it just you know, having some fun and making drones? Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna tag. You can pay attention to what comes out of the eggs. That's something you can do. Let's get some stalkers because we're playing Blink. And I'm gonna check. Drones, okay, perfect. Sometimes drones can cross like this. Zoop. You can press hold position like this, and you see the drones just get killed at the gas. So you can use the hold position macro. That's actually very effective. Now we go double gas. And I want to scout again, but before I do, I want to make sure I micro up. And then I will use the remaining APM to control my oracle. So Robo, Templar Archive, make sure your upgrades have been started, make sure your gases are mining. Get some stalkers, get some pylons for the next cycle. 1, 2, 3. And then now that I've got the macro cycle done, I can go and scout. So what is this? Evolution chambers, 2 of them. No spire hidden behind the mineral line. I can see this Hydra den. So because we're playing against Hydras, it's actually a very good idea to go into Storm. Very effective against Hydras. So I don't want to make useless Zealots or anything like that. I'm just going to expand further, research Storm, and start to work on my Templar count. And my minerals, instead of going into Zealots, which are roughly useless, I'm just gonna put them into static defenses, much more useful against Hydras. My robo is complete, I'm gonna go Observer first. And now if you want a good hotkey setup, it would be your main army in 1, High Templars in 2, and the Oracles in 3. If it's too hard, just make sure you at least have a hotkey for Templars, ideally, that would be nice. And you can just spam some Stasis Trap. I remember my opponent opened with Banelings this game, so there's a very good chance, because I scouted a Hydra Den, that my opponent tries to play Hydra Den. That would make total sense with what I've seen in the early game. Therefore, what do I make? Well, Storms are gonna be great against both Banes and Hydras, so I'm gonna make these. Immortals, obviously, good against pretty much any Zerg unit except the Broodlord, so always a good idea to make Immortals. But Zealots are gonna be trash because they will just get owned by Banes, so I will get Cannons instead, much better than the shitty Zealots. Actually, look, I want a tiny little wall so that I can prevent the Banes from walking in. Kill this motherfucker, there we go. Okay, so you see I have a full wall on this side, which is gonna make things hard for the Zerg to actually go through with the Banes. And I will get some geysers, because gas, of course, can provide good units, like High Templars and so on, Immortals, Archons. And as I said, Zealots, they're pretty meh. It's a mineral dump unit. So let's get some Archons. We can get even more cannons, why not? That's so much mineral. Okay, there he is. Okay, when he's like this, shoop, 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 just shift command, Stasis Traps in panic. It's not a bad thing to do. Now you see, the Stasis Trap is acting as little walls. I could recharge my High Templar, that has lost a bit of energy. Not a stupid thing to do. And let's get another wall. Now I want to retreat towards my Stasis Traps. And just ay, mi amigo, that's not the way to go. KYS. Yeah. If you want to take your StarCraft to the next level, I've created a coaching site on which you could join my Discord, book a session with me, and soon I will be adding tutorials and guides. So make sure you check out my coaching site. The link is in the description. So yeah, this build, playing Oracle into Blink, is actually going to be extremely reliable. You know, this is really the keyword here. We don't want to play something too random. If you really want to go up in the echelons of the ladder, you really want to have the chance to play something that will be able to respond to anything, as long as you play right. That's the way to go, in my opinion. If your only goal is to improve and to get better overall, this kind of build will teach you how to scout with the Oracle, how to control your Oracles also. Then you've got Blink, so a lot of Stalkers can defend pretty much anything. Roach all-in, easy to defend. Link Banes, you're fine, you've got Stasis Traps and Stalkers. And if you go into the later stages of the game with Hydras and so on, then you can go into Storm and potentially into Fleet Beacon as a last resort. Okay, we're playing against the 4.5 Protoss players while I'm just sitting at 4k MMR right now. So this is 400 to 500 MMR above my current MMR. So that's a Masters 3, I would say, Masters 2. I'm not exactly sure where the threshold is, but anyway, we're gonna be playing a PvP, and in PvP nowadays I don't want to play something random either. I want to play something solid and something safe, something that can put me in a good position every game as long as I don't fuck up and I can scout properly. What is a good unit to scout? Sentry, of course. Sentry, amazing unit in this patch. So we're gonna open up with Gate. And the reason why I'm scouting after the first Gate is because if my opponent decides to go for a 1 Gate expand, my scout is gonna be early enough to prevent the probe from actually putting the Nexus down. So there's a little probey in my base, just making sure I'm taking my gases so they don't get stolen. There's a chance my opponent decides to open with a cannon rush, so I'm just gonna rally my next probe here because it's going to build a gate. There you go, there's a little pylon. So in this case, I'm just gonna pull a couple workers. 1 worker to chase his own dude, and 1 pylon downstairs. Okay, what is this? That's a gate. Okay, I might have overreacted just a little bit. It's okay. Go back to your build. Chrono boost your gates. There we go. Your Nexus. This is what I meant to say, of course. And just go back to your build. Whenever you're at 14 minerals, 14 probes on the minerals, go to the gas so that you have enough gas to afford your sentries. So now I'm at 3 and 14 the minerals, and then you can rally back to the mineral line. So it looks a lot like an expand build, but actually it's just playing very normal. There's 2 gates, whether they are over here or down there, technically it doesn't really change the order of the build. Actually, it makes things worse for him because the travel time of the probe will actually give him less money than he usually would have if he just played standard. Alright, so I'm just gonna patrol and keep making probes. I want to make one last little pylon over there, and I'll just... If the probe is still in your base, once you've made the pylon, you can block it and it will be stuck. And now I'm just looking for a second pylon, potentially. There is no pylon in the... yeah, there's no pylon at all actually in the main. Still nothing. He's making a probe. You can see the thing on the Nexus. There goes the probe. Still nothing. I'm just gonna go pylon. Fuck you. The insult was not mandatory. I'm sorry. I just misbehaved. Still no second pylon. Okay, this is the 3rd pylon. So there's a second pylon on the map. You see, you can always compare how many pylons you have with how many pylon he has. So now I do not know what units were made. Okay, finally it's talking. Okay, this guy is like... I'll just cancel it last second. I will not burn my energy. I don't want to waste force field energy. So right now my opponent does not have an Nexus, so I would love to play Twilight, but instead I will play Robo because there's no base. So this looks a lot like a 4-gate play. There's nothing in my main. Actually, I probably should have made 2 extra units with my gateway, but I will be okay. I think. Hopefully. I will get 1 more battery. See, this battery is in the safe spot, like this. And you see, I'm not burning the force field energy like an idiot. I'm really waiting until I really need to force field. If it's just a pressure, I know it's tempting. Always leave a probe in the wall because he could still make adapts technically. Is he coming my way? What does he have? Still nothing. Well, I'm gonna go Observer first because it builds rapidly and still don't know what's up to. So because I do not know what's going on, I really want to scout. This energy will be spent. Okay, see, I'm paying close attention to this little bird because I do not want to waste it stupidly. And now I'm gonna go into an immortal. And if this guy oversteps his welcome, I will force field. Look, I see an observer, so my opponent also has a robo. Now I know it for sure. Okay. I could even leave it over here to provide some good vision. He's doing the same. Finally, he's got a nexus. So I've got detection in case I'm getting bothered. And my opponent seems like he's overstaying a little bit. Yeah, you, my friend, you're staying around too long. How can you just... Ah, lucky boy. So I want to go into the next phase of the game. Okay. I know my opponent's got a nexus, so I can chrono boost my own and just enjoy being ahead in this game. Always leave a probe in the wall. You do not want to get caught. And I'm gonna leave 3 stalkers in my main because I know there's a robo, because I saw the observer. What does it mean if he has a robo? It means a warp prism could surprise me. I do not want to get caught out of position. And look, he cannot break this unless my mouse disconnects. So I'll have a stroke. So I should be okay. Oh my goodness me. Thank God I'm a fucking pro gamer. Holy crap. I'm gonna try to force field this disruptor, which I did. Now there's a disruptor that slightly surprised me, not gonna lie. This is why you put your observer like this, my friend, so that you see it coming. Alright, I'm just gonna go for a Stargate, because as you know, Phoenixes can lift, just like Arnold. And if you lift, as a disruptor just fired, the disruptor shot will be cancelled. Oh my goodness me. So you see, my scouting this game has been pretty poor, because I was still not aware of that. Okay, this is a bit of a mess. My sentries are gonna really help. Run! Kurva! Okay, so my sentries are still gonna be amazingly useful in this game, because I shouldn't have blink. Just like I don't have blink. Okay, I got the disruptors. Let's go. This is why you have a wide concave like this. See, I'm not in a box. I'm pulling my units as far away as possible, so that if disruption connects, it's still quite a miles away. And I put 1 sentry on the left, 1 sentry on the right. Well, now they're out of energy, but assuming they still had energy like they had a few moments ago, I would have been able to just cut everything off. So I'm still following in my build. I'm gonna get extra gates, so I can make Zealot Archon, basically. My opponent is making Stalkers, so I can keep on building Immortals, they're always amazing. And all my attention is on my Phoenixes, so that I can lift if a disruption were to come my way. Like this. Now I just lift it to cancel the shot, and I can just build. And now I go back to hold position, 1, 2, 3, spread my army. Grab 1, go on the left, grab 1, go in the middle, grab 1, go up. Then I can go into extra gates, make it 8, to spend my money properly. My attention is here. So he killed my observer. I've got 4 immortals now. I think it should be okay. Like 4 immortal is a decent number, so I can remake this observer to actually make sure I know what's going on in this game, because right now there's an observer on top of me, probably. Yeah, I can see it, see? Above my Phoenix, can you see it, the blur? So I know he's got vision, so he knows what my next move is going to be. So I want to get rid of this observer. It should die in 3, 2, 1. I moved it. No, it's still here. No? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I want to take a base because, man, it's 8 minutes and still not on 3rd base. Okay. So I'm gonna take a safe route with my hallucinated Phoenix to potentially get some scouting. 3rd base here, and you can even get a pylon on the edge over here to get some anti-warp prism vision. I want to get at least 1 Archon so that I can break force fields. Okay, and I've seen this proxy. I'm just gonna send 2 Zealots to take care of this. What is the follow-up of my opponent? Seems like Archons is the name of the game. 2 gases, he's breaking his own wall. There's an Archon being morphed. There's still 1 disruptor over here. Okay, now my next move is to know whether it has a 3rd, so I know if it's a good idea to attack or not. Okay. There we go. 3 Phoenixes. I'm gonna get a Warp Prism because I kind of want to attack. Like, my army is pretty strong at this point. No 3rd. Okay. Let's see. Can I find my opponent's army? Is he still here? Okay, I will cancel my prism because I see no army. So, and no third, which means my opponent is about to attack me. So I want some vision right now. So my stalkers are gonna scout a bit ahead, like this. Where is my opponent? I cannot find the army. Oh, there it is. This is why I was about to place this pylon. It's to get vision. So I want one Archon on each side, so I can break force fields on both sides. My Phoenix is in the middle in a pretty assertive spot, so I can cancel the disruptions if I need to. Oop, oop, oop. Hold position. Right now I'm just pressing hold position like a maniac. And I'm rapidly gonna transfer some probes. Maybe take a second for this. And just wait for my opponent to attack into him. Why would I attack into him? I've got 3 bases, he's got 2. I'm mining more, why attack? Right? Let's send a little hallucinate like this, just to leave it here, just to see what he's doing. Is he still here? No, he's not, he moved. He's up there, okay. I just clicked on the unit and I saw it was only plus 0, actually has no upgrades. Okay, let's get some blue balls. And I've got no vision, so I'm just gonna remake it. So I want to know what's going on. Now my third base has definitely paid off for itself. My army is way too big compared to his. I will just move. My army is significantly better than his. I will just lift whatever I can lift and just go for it. I'm too far ahead in this game to let my opponent come back. Remember, it's not when ahead get more ahead, it's when ahead, kill the game, kill the guy. I've seen on my minimap some red dots. I'm just gonna bring it. Select your probe, bring to the gas next to the batteries. Okay, I'm not gonna YOLO, I'm gonna do things methodically. Lift, 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 regroup. Lift. Okay. The next stop is to bring my Warp Prism in a safe spot and make sure my upgrade is finished before I go. Okay. I'm gonna fix the mining before I go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need 3 probes here. Okay, I need some probes here as well. My supply. Okay, I'm almost supply capped. I'm not supply capped anymore. Amazing. Okay, so I think that was a cool game. That was a cool game. Lots to learn from. One of the mistakes that I've did, if you followed this game properly, is that my scouting was not good enough, that I missed the robotics bay, right? If I don't see the robotics facility, that's okay. But if I miss the robo bay, then I cannot properly counter the disruptors. I want my Stargate as early as possible to actually be able to lift the disruptors to cancel the shots. So here I only relied on micro, and I also relied on pulling my units away and put them in hold position. If you put yourself in an assertive spot and you put yourself in a ball, obviously there's a way more chance that the disruptor is going to connect big time with your army, and it will actually destroy your whole army, which is not exactly how you win a game of StarCraft 2, at least not as the defender. All right, little PVZ once again. I'm gonna get my pylon downstairs. I could play Blink again, so that you can just copy this style, or I will just play another build, so that you have different strategies to pick from. I think that could be a pretty good idea. I'm just gonna tab out to see if I'm still recording. Yes, I am. I still have a PTSD from my failed recording from 2 hours ago. Okay, crystal probes, get a gateway, and go scouts. Okay, gas. So yeah, this game, instead of playing Oracle into Blink, I'm just gonna go Oracle into Zealot Archon to mix things up a little bit so that you can play something different. You don't need to play the same stuff over and over. And some people just don't like playing Blink because, I mean, come on, Blink Stalkers are not that easy to use. Like, you need to actually micro them properly. It's not easy per se. Whereas A-moving Zealots and Archons should be doable by even the dumbest of monkeys. So we're gonna do that, exactly that, this game. All right, the hatchery is in time. The pool has just been started, no reason to panic. We can just get our core at 20. There we go. And we're gonna resume the pro production. Very important to have a very solid build order. Do not forget to make probes, it would be like in tennis, hitting the ball against the net. You're basically hurting yourself for no reason, you know, you're just helping your opponent. And even if you focus really hard on killing your opponent's workers, if you kill 2 drones, but you forgot to queue a round of 2 probes on your nexus, while you actually dealt more damage to yourself than to your opponent. Which is why I always repeat over and over again that you should focus on your macro more than anything else. Alright, we go warp to the Stargate before Warp Gate to have the quickest oracle possible. Then we go Warp Gate, and then we're going to get a 3rd unit. So you could chrono boost your first adept. The reason why I'm not doing so is because I'm patrolling my probe and I see that no Zergling has left this base just yet. So why would I chrono my adept? I'm not gonna deal any damage anyway. Taking my sweet time. This is making a creep tumor, which is a clear indication that I'm not gonna get all in, so I can just take it easy. Oh, the hatchery is almost done. That was a very great opener by my opponent. Okay, fine. So as you noticed, when my natural base finished, I immediately chrono boosted both my main and my natural to boost my economy as hard as possible. Speaking of boosting, I should have enough energy, right now to chrono boost my adept. And I'm always navigating between my main and natural to see if my probes are always being produced. We get the pylon to not get supply blocked at 46. I'm finishing my wall. Zergling speeds finishes at roughly 330, more or less, depending on how the Zerg plays. So you really want this at 330, absolute latest. Okay. I've got my second oracle queued, my second oracle chrono boosted even. I'm about to have 3 adepts, which means it's 3rd base o'clock. But I'm still making probes that do not cut ever. It's simple. In this matchup, if you ever cut before you have 66, unless you're doing a very specific build, it's going to be a mistake. So never cut probes. Okay, I promise to finish in 2 seconds. There you go. I'm going to make a final oracle. Making, oh no, actually I'm stupid. I'm gonna go Zealot Archon. Sorry, I forgot. So only 2 oracle I think is a bit better, so I can optimize the build slightly. With Blink, you like 3 oracles because then you have more stasis traps, and then offensively it's gonna be amazing. But here I'm just playing with Zealot Archon, so yeah, I don't care so much about stasis traps. Let's see if I can do something. No, I can't. Okay. Time to add our gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And it rhymes. But I also want my Templar Archive. So I'm gonna start charge and +1 attack. There you go. And I need my robo in my nitro. I forgot a little bit, but it's okay. I'm gonna propose both buildings, and then I can resume for production. And this guy is fucking, this is a Jadon or what? Okay. So I'm gonna warp in 2 Zealots, but I'm gonna warp them in outside of vision, because if I warp them in to his face, it's just too obvious. Like, it's too obvious. I'm gonna warp them here. Okay, I still haven't done anything with my oracles. I'm gonna see. Okay. You die. No, you don't. Oh my god, come. I'm microing like my mouse is not plugged in. Actually, this guy is playing pretty well, to be fair. Okay. I'm gonna warp some units. Grab all of these, run my adepts, and get ready to attack. Now I kind of want to clear some creep. Come on, like stop being J-Dong, bro. There's more chill in the Gold League, not gonna lie. Okay, time to go, make sure you have that supply. And I cleared some creep because I'm gonna go in this area more or less, so kind of wanna have. Okay. And I keep on probing, right? I can even add 2 extra gates because I've got a bit of money. I want to go when. So I do not warp more than 2 Archons, because if I lose all the Zealots, I couldn't care less. But if I lose my Archons, it's going to be a bit expensive. Okay, I'm just going to recall both my Oracles and go forward with the rest. could even recharge this if I need to. Okay. And I will just A-move with the rest. Now I keep on macroing at home. This fight is going well, so I can just rapidly go home and Q +2. That's all I do. Or Prism should be in a conservative spot so I can actually pick up my my units. And if the fight is going well, I can just block some more. Unless I'm supply blocked because I haven't lost any units. But that's pretty much it. Congrats on playing the correct price. Thank you very much. I made the right choice 14 years ago. So yeah, sadly my opponent died a bit too fast, but this strategy is actually very powerful. When I coach people, I sometimes show them this very build or variation of this strategy, and usually the Zerg dies on this on the first go. But if your opponent has enough units, usually it's roaches, your goal will then be to save your 2 Archons. You do not want to donate them, so just lift your Archons, go home, and then you go into a macro game from there on. Then you go into +2 attack, Storm, and Immortals, amazing units Immortals. And then the goal later in the game is to do a timing attack with, I don't know, 3, 4 Immortals, something like that. Some High Templars, 4, 5, 6. And a big bulk of Zealot Archon, and then you go for a big attack. And if you can kill the guy, amazing. And if you cannot, well then you can go into Fleet Beacon and play into Carriers, Mothership, Tempest, whatever you like. Of course, pay very close attention with your oracles to scout every now and then, every 45 seconds maybe you can scout, every minute perhaps if it's difficult for you to multitask, so that you can check for a spire. The big danger when you play this sort of build, because you don't have blink or any phoenixes or anything like that, is to be surprised by a spire. That would be the danger. So now there's a little drone about to bother me, so I'm just gonna pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workers, so that's 3 over here plus the 2 I have over there. I could even use this hatchery to set up my location for my camera hotkey. I'm just gonna actually send this probe because technically it could be doing a 12 pull, and 12 pull on top of this hatchery could bother me. I mean, it probably doesn't have enough money to actually do both, if I were perfectly honest with you, but could still be a early pull. I'm just gonna get a Zealot. I could chrono boost it, but I watched a VOD of a hero not chrono boosting the Zealot, and because I'm a hero enthusiast, I'm just gonna do like him, right? Right now I'm supply blocked. No, actually I'm not, because I cannot build anything else anyway. Okay, this hatchery should die rapidly, right? So the pull you see is pretty late. Everything's all right. I'm gonna pull a bit more into gas because I've got enough minerals to actually make a nexus, and I want to get this Stargate in a reasonable fast time. Okay, we got the drone, and we can finally expand. We resume the probe production. I mean, we never really stopped, to be fair. So you could be tempted to get an adept right now, and you would use it offensively, ideally, but if you want to take things slow, I think it's better to actually build a no, not a void ray, but a Stargate first and foremost. So let's get a Stargate. I want to play a big rear because I don't want to delay this building, right? Big deal. Now, because our Nexus was delayed, we actually need to get a pylon extra. We don't really have the choice. Usually the Nexus provides the supply. Here, nope, because our Nexus was delayed by the proxy hatchery. I like this pylon on this map because you could mine the minerals and flood some Zerglings from this entrance. It's only 5 mineral per patch, so you gotta be pretty careful about that. So a pylon will provide some vision. Next pylon should probably be around here. So I can just chrono boost pros, now that I have supply available for that. I will also chrono boost my natural, and I will get an oracle. Okay. So once again, I've got 2 choices. I could play Oracle into Blink, I could play Oracle into Zealot Archon, or I could play Oracle into Glaives. That's also a possibility. So I think Glaives is perhaps a bit more technical, I would say. So I'm just gonna play maybe Blink into Storm, so I could actually play a full game like that. Yeah, Vespin gas, it's coming. Okay, I've got 2 adepts. I'm just gonna safely expand. So I send the 2 adepts in between this mineral patch like this to reduce the surface area Zerglings can shoot from. My oracle is above the nexus. Nexus goes down. Pylon goes down. Probe production doesn't get stopped. What you can do is you shade away and you hold position the shade, and the whole position, the shades will already be like when the adepts come back, you see, they are in hold position. Oracle number 2 just joined the fray. I'm gonna rally the 3rd oracle that I'm making towards my 3rd and send the first 2 ones offensively. I see a bunch of links, so I just want to make sure they're crossing the map or not, because that's a lot of links. I want to deal with that. Okay. Just turn on my oracles and just shoot the links. In the meantime, just gonna macro up. Twilight Forge. My 3rd oracle is about to spawn, so I will have something to deal with these links. So I can just send my 2 first oracles to get some scouting and maybe kill some drones. I utilize, you know, all the room in my main with these pylons to actually be able to build as many buildings as possible. Okay, that's not a lot of drones, holy fuck. Oh, that's a Nydus, okay. Okay. Gonna target that, warp in stalkers in emergency. Oracle will get recharged and kill this. And I will get a Void Ray. So that I can actually kill the Overlord. Okay. Now, where is my attention going? My attention is going on the Overlord. Do you see this pylon providing vision? Maybe saved my life in this game. Because otherwise I wouldn't have the vision to actually get rid of this. But yeah, the reaction time is really important. Just fire up 2 stalkers, because they shoot pretty hard on the Nyduses. And pull the probes immediately to go and surround it. Bring the oracles if you had to, fire everything at once to kill the Nydus. Okay. I'm gonna get a little battery here, and I can just turn on all my oracles. Given the amount of drones he had over here, it's perfectly okay to donate this 3rd base. I'm totally fine with losing it, because my opponent is on a very, very low drone count. So I will lose it, sure, but it's okay. Now this little Void Ray is gonna take care of this Overlord so that no Nydus can ever be made in my base. So batteries and stalkers in a well put out SimCity can basically kill an infinite amount of units. So I can just put my oracles offensively, like what could happen to me? I've got 3 batteries, I've got a stasis trap, I've got many stalkers, soon to be even more. Now, since I'm on only 2 bases, I cannot really spend my money into extra probes and so on, right? I will have a 3rd, so I'm just gonna make some more stalkers and see if I can kill some stuff. There's a very little drone count at the 3rd, okay. Okay, now I kinda need to take my 3rd. My blink is about to complete, so that's good. But it's not done quite yet, so I will keep hugging my buildings to reduce the surface area of the Zerglings. And just take that. I will place some stasis traps so that if he tries to jump on me to surround me, it will be very... Oh, he actually tried to drag one. That's actually very smart by him. But... Okay. Now I want to go into the next phase of the game. Remember, next phase of the game is Robo. And Templar Archon. We want to go into Storm. Come on. See some Zerglings got trapped here. I'm gonna get one more. When you have a stasis trap that gets triggered, can just remake everyone. So, I need to go into the next phase of the game. This is what I was talking about. So 2 extra gate, make it 8. Remember charge and plus 2 attack, and then storm whenever it's possible. I want to make as few zealots, stalkers, sorry, as possible, because stalkers cost gas, and my gas needs to go into high templars. This is the most valuable unit. I could potentially attack. If I felt comfortable with my control, I could go on the map and potentially try to put some pressure, but I'm gonna take a slow approach and just take it easy. I just heard in my earphones that my Templar Archive finished, so I'm gonna Q Storm first and then make the High Templars. Because if I Q the High Templars first and then I have no gas remaining to actually build any build Storm itself. Okay, I'm just gonna tag. What do I see? I just tagged everyone, just to see what's going on. I just tagged like a maniac. Okay, what did I see? So Nydus from the other game. Okay, Hydra Den. And the Hydra Den is actually dancing, which means it's researching something. So my opponent's gonna go into, well, Hydras, most likely. Hydra Bane, Hydra Lurker, I do not know. But what I know is that Banes are on the way. Hydras are on the way. Jesus, it's hard. I get some cannons like this. Okay, put that in. My Storm is not finished quite yet, which is a bit problematic. I will be tempting to actually morph my Archons, but Archons are just so bad, at least in this scenario, that I would rather just wait a bit longer to get stuff. See, I just buy 10 seconds for myself, and Storm will be done. And just got Storm. It's too nice. Actually, I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, here I just F2'd in panic to bring everything. I know I've got a Void on the map, some Oracle, some, you know, whatever bullshit that has here and there. I'll just F2 and use whatever is available to make this defense happen. Anything I can get. Okay, these Hydras are misvalued. Perfect for them. When you win the fight, even if it's barely, the units are out of position, get rid of the Nydus so you can actually have some breathing room. And just remake the Templar so that you can actually have got some Storm for the next one. Keep making mortals if that's possible, not too hard, and just build whatever you can build. I've got energy recharge, now Storm is finished, so I can actually cast a Storm with next to my energy recharge. I could make a cannon over here. A cannon like this will drag the Zergling stupidly, and most of his units will stupidly go into the cannon that is healed by battery instead of going on top of my units. So that's a great location for your cannon. I'm just gonna tag to see if he's here. Where is he? Doesn't seem to be here. Okay. If my opponent is not there, I can just go into next upgrade. I can go into Mortals. Okay, it comes from the other side. It's coming from the south side. Is he still here? It doesn't seem to be the case. Pull into gas, because gas is the most valuable resource in this matchup. I want to make High Templars, not Zealots. Right, I'm just gonna surround these Zerglings. I can just kill them for free. Some of them at least. To get okay, there he is. Storm. I will try to tag these units, just like warp before. Remember, I always repeat that you need to spend your warping first, so I will do exactly that. I struggle to find the army, so I'll just place some stasis traps. I can even make a cannon too, so that I don't need to look. Second attack. So, battery. I cannot speak. Stasis trap over here in case banelings run in. Right. And some static. Okay. So if the army is too strong, I can just cast the Storm. See, I'm pulling my army back and just let the Storm do the work. See, I'm pulling away and shoot like this. Then he needs to bathe into this if he wants to attack. And just another one. And take a moment to shoot. Now his army is very softened up. Softened up, I should say. I can actually. And this is what quality units do. You know, I've got Archons, Avoid Rid, Immortals. Much better than just spamming useless Zealots. Much better. So now when I know I'm ahead in this game, the next question is how do I make sure I win the game? Because I don't want to throw that game per se, but I don't want to let my opponents get away with you know, the possibility to come back in the game. So I'm just gonna get a Warp Prism and make sure I have a big bulk of units, right? Make sure my bases are well defended thanks to stasis traps. Make sure this new base is also well protected with cannons and batteries. If you put your batteries... Come on, let me talk, bro. Okay, perfect. If you hug your buildings next to the Nexus, there's less surface area for the Zerg units to actually fire. So that's actually very good. And I always prioritize spending the guys first, so Archons in this case. And then Zealots finally. Okay, I could have surrounded these units, but I prefer to talk. Before I go, because my 4th is finished, I've got more income, which means I can support more gateways. My +3 attack just finished. I've got a Warp Prism, I've got Storm, I've got an army that is pretty terrifying. I think it is time to go. To not mess things up, look, I can, if you don't have enough hotkeys, you can follow your prism to follow your oracles, and your oracles follow your templars, and everything is just lined up like this. Look, I don't need to follow, I can just go on the opposite side. I'm being annoyed. Look, this is why I made this setup. So that exactly for this situation. Look, I can storm on the right like this and walk on the left. I see people just follow their storm. No, don't do that. On the opposite side. So let me show you how to take a proper fight. So first, clear some creep. Come on, let me talk. You have no chance. My army is 5 times bigger. Let me explain. There we go. So you take a wide concave like this with your units. Okay, you're pissing me off. I'm just gonna remove this idiot. I cannot speak. So just a move and storm. This is how you do it. Jesus Christ, man. Like, this guy is eager to fight into an army that could be literally 3 times the size of his army. Like, this fight is not even close to winnable. But basically, you want to take a wide spread concave so that all your units can fire. Archons have very small range. They're short range. So if they're bunched into a box, they cannot really fire properly. So you want them in a line like this. Then your mortals behind. And then the stormers shouldn't be too far at the back because high templars are slow. So by the time they catch up, you're missing the possibility to actually cast something. So the high templars don't want to be at the front either. They don't want to tank, but they don't want to be too far at the back either. Do we have time for another game? 46 minutes of recording. Yeah, I can keep on playing. I would like to play one more game ideally. And yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you can play Blink, you can play Zealot Archon, you could play Glaives as a follow-up. Many different possibilities. So we're playing another Zerg opponent. Did we play a Terran? I don't even remember if we did. I think we played a Protoss and a couple Zergs. Okay, we're gonna get a Zerg anyway. Okay, let's go for a Pylon and a Natural, as you do. And yeah, the next episode is going to be in Masters to get, I don't know, Masters 3 to Masters 1 should be the next episode. And then the final one would be reaching Grandmaster. I think this is how things should be. Because even if these videos are pretty long, I still think it's somewhat valuable and people can just check whatever matchup they want to like in the videos themselves. So this is what makes the most sense to me. Okay, I'm pressing the buttons a bit too frantically for someone that's supposed to be 4.5k. So I'm gonna slow things down just a little bit. But I will make sure my build is well done. Just like my steak. LOL. Okay. Let's see what we find. Is there a hatchery? Oh ho ho! There is no hatchery, which means there's a pool and maybe a gas. This is what I'm looking for. A gas is done, the pool is done, 2 larvas remaining. So I want to put 3 dudes in my gas, so I've got more gas to make a Stargate. Okay, 3 cocoons as the pool finished, so it's a dead giveaway that my opponent made. Made 3 pairs of Zerglings. Okay, it was researching speed, which is what I paid attention to. So I'm just gonna full wall like this with 2 gates and a core. Let's see if he gets baited. I think he does get baited. And I want to get 1 more gas for this specific strategy. Baited. I want to check if he has a next hatchery. Okay, I'm gonna hug outside the crypt so it doesn't get bonus speed. Run! Okay. Pretty good scouting anyway. Okay, 3 probes into the gas. We can delay our Nexus because in a normal game, the Nexus is always later than the hatchery. So it's perfectly normal. And I want to get a fast Oracle out, or even Void Ray, depending on your taste, so that we can actually be safe against all sort of BS. Okay. Now, I don't want to make a battery before I start my Nexus, because a battery started before a Nexus will only have half of its energy, which sucks. My dev is about to spawn, so I'm all good. I'm gonna get the battery finally. which is now full energy. Perfecto. And a little pylon. Okay, this guy should go in the main because I'm... Yeah, there we go, 16 out of 16. I think Void Ray is a bit better, to be perfectly honest, so we can go with... Come on, get out of here. So you can actually kill Overlords and Nyduses and so on. I'm actually gonna get one of these. So you see this double wall? I've got one Zealot at the very top and one at the bottom. Should be out of range for the Baneling, especially if it's slightly outer like this. I forgot to start warp gates, see I'm distracted. But it's okay. Now, my goal here is to know what the hell is going on. Like, I want to beeline to his base. Ignore complete links. You need to know what's going on. Now we have zero idea of what the follow-up is. So let's see what's going on. Okay, keep on making pros, of course. I want to see if he has a third. I want to see how many drones he has. And I want to see what is the follow-up. There is a third. Okay, perfect. Lair is not done. Okay, amazing. No Nydus just yet. I've got time. I'm gonna chrono boost my Nexus to get a good economy. And because it's got a bit less queens than usual because this base is delayed, I can actually use my oracles quite aggressively here. Alright, I'm gonna get a third base. Here we go. 2 adepts and 1 zealot should be enough. Let's see if I can get some damage done. Okay, not too many units. I can kill this. These eggs, as you can see, are spinning, which means they're about to finish. Spore clawers have less hit points than they used to, so you can just kill them as they are being built. Good thing you can do. And even if the early game was a bit messy, my goal is always to get back to my normal game plan. So depending on whether you play charge or blink, you just go back to whatever feels comfortable for you. In this case, I want to go back to playing Archons and Zealots. So I'm just going to go double gas, go Twilight, Council and Forge, and get a pylon over here that will provide a lot of room to make my gates in a bit. And I'm just standing in between. Maybe I can pick up a drone. Oh, some Zerglings just spawned. Let's tag, and what do we see? Not much. Let's tag on this side. What do we find? Is there a spire? Is there something? Hydroden, okay. I need to respond to the Hydras, so, okay. Now we're just gonna run back home. I can just heal my cyber core with my battery. It's alright. Okay, now I will macro. I will queue charge and +1, and I will make gateways all the way to 8. Because Hydras will pack a punch and need to be ready. Usually I would only make 6 gates and pressure, but because my opponent's on a very low economy, and he is probably gonna go my way with Hydras, as I saw the Hydroden on low drone count, I just go 8 gates and make mass units to make sure I don't die. This guy is really fucking annoying, Jesus Christ. I mean, I shouldn't say that, I'm a bit like that too. And then I can resume probes and I can actually get a robo to get a warp prism at some point. I will recharge these. Okay, the Hydras are here already. This is a pretty tiny army, and God knows I know about tiny. Okay, I will chrono boost this. Remember, it's okay if I lose this base. Quite frankly, my opponent is on a very low drone count. So, I will be okay if I lose that. Just don't get supply blocked and make sure you chrono charge. Because I kinda need my charge, of course. I don't want to get kited myself. Get some Archons. I've got stasis traps to buy some time. I cannot buy that much time, to be fair. Okay, let's see. And just warp whatever I can warp. It's going to be a very tight one. Recharge the battery. Okay, charge is finally done. This is what happens when you talk a lot. Pull inside my base. I'll just get Zealots because they're going to be available faster than Archons. So you see it's a bit tight, but I'm not panicking. Remember, my opponent's on a small economy, so, do I really need to panic? I don't think so. I've got some gas and my opponent is not to my face, so I can actually warp my Archon safely and get some... I can just feedback. My recharge is available, I will just recharge it. because I don't really need to chrono boost anything at this point. I lost my core, so I'll remake it. Get out of here. Get the Nexus again. And you watch my supply. I do not have enough supply for the next round. Can I actually save it? I think I can. Yes, barely. Okay. And I'm gonna send this observer on the other side of the map because I don't really know what's going on. And I will just finish my wall. Don't forget to leave a unit in the wall, of course, to wall properly, so you don't get link flooded. So, +2 attack, and I will just go into Storm. If I want to go for an attack, I would not get Storm, I would not get the extra upgrade, I would just go for it. But because now I want to actually go into a macro game, I will just go into Storm right away. Because if he masses up Hydras and I don't have Storm, it would be big trouble. See, he was getting ready to receive a potential all-in, which I'm not going for. If you want to go for... The rule is simple. If you want to go for a timing attack, get Archons, go for it. Don't waste time. If you want to go into macro game, make fewer Archons, just the one that you need in this case to survive, like I did, and then go into Storm. So I'm going to take my Geyser immediately. As you know, gas is way more important than minerals in this matchup. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And I will go back to making Immortals. What's good against Zerg? Of course, Immortals. High Templars, Archons, great units. Oh, almost got sniped. So now I kind of want to go, what's the follow-up? The key building I want to spot is a tier 3. Swarmhost, mushrooms, okay. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, there's no tier 3 on the way. He's making more mushrooms, so I'm just gonna get as many units as I can. I'm going to get Immortals, and I'm gonna get some vision on the side. Look, one observer here to spot the mushrooms, and one observer on this side to spot the other mushrooms. Right, and the goal would be to make an omelette at some point, but the cook isn't there yet. I will chrono boost my +2, an amazing upgrade to have. Oh, that was again my hotkey. Okay, let's storm the locusts. There we go. And just storm away. Recharge the High Templars. So we want to be methodical. I want to get, okay, High Templars, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 2 units. I want to get a big army. If I've got money left, I will just get some static B. And look how I control the right side with this observer and the left side with this one. Now I know he wants to probably pull his locust over here, so my army is already well positioned. And because the army is on the left, I can just expand on the right. No problemo. And I will just storm away whatever I can storm. Now I will dump my minerals to protect this base and do a run by. Now I can safely expand on this side thanks to the zealots, and they will go attack. They will not go attack because I cannot expand. Okay, no problem. So I do not know where the army is, so I'm just standing a bit in between. I could even send an adept over here to get some vision. Okay, I know he's there. Oh. Can recharge, and I'll just go run by. Spend my units. I would love to make High Templars, but struggling a little bit. I need units on the battlefield right now. That's a lot of fucking locusts. Oh my god, I mean, they're not very effective to be perfectly honest, but okay. Look what you can do in 2 clicks. 1 click, 2 click. Well, this is fine, 3 clicks. And I'm not even looking at it anymore. I could micro, I will not. Always split the zealots in 2 locations like this to make it hard for the Zerg to deal with it. I've got lots of gas. I can just warp some units and recharge one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. My +3 has not been started. We're gonna fix that. We can also get Blink, pretty useful in the later stages of the game. I need 2 extra probes here. I'm just gonna transfer. And now I want my base to be safe because look, my army is pretty big. Like my army is getting serious. So In order to attack, I need 1, an observer in case of lurkers, and 2, I need a warp prism. Once again, I've got vision on the left, on the right, so I can just stay on the right, on the left, on the opposite side of where my vision is, and just keep on warping it. I'll send a little dude forward to see if the mushrooms are over here. Some of them are here, okay, but not all of them. There's still some units on the other side. That's so many locusts, and locusts are not very effective. Does he have a braid? Yeah, he has close to actually. Okay. Now my army is very good. I can just try and go. My warp prism is finished. There it is. I will just go for it. Look, I've got 6 immortals, I've got high templars. The locust wave is on cooldown, so I can really go on the map and do something. Always make sure you bring your warp prism with you and warp on the way. You know, do not just sprint towards the Zerg base. Take a second to always warp in some of these. I'm just going to turn back, warp some high templars, and let's go for it. So now there's a locust wave on the minimap you can see hurting my base, which means the locust wave is on cooldown. Now I've got a good 20 seconds to go where basically 2/3 of his army is just offline. So I'll just beeline and just go for it. Do not wait. Do not wait for the thing to recharge. You can easily pick up this base. I take a base for free because the locust wave on cooldown and immediately go down. Is there a base here? No, there's not. Okay, perfect. I just reinforce by warping in, and now I'll just take my base. What did I lose? Okay, I just lost that. I lost my cyber core. I'm just gonna remake it. Where's my probes? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Too many. Put the probes back. Always monitor your base before you make a next move, because if you don't, minutes will pass by and you will not be mining. Okay, locust wave here. I will just evacuate these guys and just expand on the other side. No problemo. This guy is here. Are you kidding me? Now I need to make a decisive move. I need to make a decisive move. I need to either base trade or go to... I'll show you how to base trade. So grab some probes that are safe. Grab some probes that are safe like this. And split them. Like some here, some there, some there. Split your probes and kill the building. I killed the Nydus. This is actually pretty important. You can make some templars like this and hide them. Kill everything that's killable. You can grab some zealots and kill some stuff. Try to spread your army if you can also, in case there's lots of buildings. There's a Nydus. Look, I will send some zealots to kill the Nydus. And I will just get a Nexus here. Maybe a Nexus there. I could recharge my high templars. Maybe I can kill some Hydras, look. I'm just killing all the buildings I can, but you see I'm splitting Nexus on the map so that I have a backup plan. You know. So he's got some banelings over here. I will try to snipe some of them. I can do something. I will have another storm in a couple seconds. So there is probably a hatchery on the map. Okay. So my zealots can shift command across the map to see if I can find something. Now that I have a Nexus secured, I can just mine from it, to be fair. I have a base here, I've got a base there. That's good. And I'll just regroup my probes. I can hide some pylons also, just to make sure I don't lose the building race. Okay. Now, mushrooms, pretty good to actually send wave after wave, slowly drifting, so I do not want to let that happen. So I'm gonna go on the map, but first I could actually get some vision to know where it actually is, but because I've got 2 Nexi on the map available, it's a bit less scary in this case. Oh. Because if he finds a Nexus, if I only had 1 Nexus, I would be in trouble. Because I have 2, it's okay. Okay, now, Locust Wave I've been fully sent, which is a big mistake, you never do that. You send too many Locusts at once. So we'll just run away, because it did them in the middle. I can even do something like this. Locust Wave will be done. There it is. Now I can go, 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 go. Locust Wave's on cooldown. Let's go, 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 go. Don't let it recharge. You've got an opportunity a millionaire friend of mine once told me the key to success in life is to seize opportunities. And it's actually the case. There's so many mushrooms, man. This is a fucking forest I'm seeing here. Okay. So he's running away for his dear life. He actually wants to have... Okay. I only have 2 High Templars remaining. That's actually quite shitty. Oh, don't lose them, idiot! Okay. Maybe I can... My goal here is to know how many drones he has. Okay, let's get some. Fucking messy here. I don't think he had an Overseer. And he doesn't have anything borrowed, so I can just chrono my probes to get some economy to follow in this game. Okay, there he is. I can catch him. Storm. Run for your life. Run. Man, this is not Kipchoge, man. Oof. So I'm gonna try to find... Oh, it's still there, man. How long does it last? Poor Archon. I'm sorry, bruv. I should have had your back. I've got a recall. I'm gonna use it. Oh, I can actually recall everything. I don't want to lose my probes. I know the things are on cooldown. There you go. I found the dudes, so I will just follow them with my my observer. Also want to know where the... Oh, I can storm. Here, that's some juicy storm I can land. Also high tempo, it's still very juicy storm. So I've got 2 bases. I'm probably okay with losing this Nexus, to be fair. I'm gonna try to see where his last building is. I will save these probes and send another probe on the opposite side. Maybe around here to see if I can find... Oh, there he is. There's a hatchery. So this probe always goes on the opposite side, so I can actually retreat safely. See this other base? This might be the last building. No, it's not. I will just go away. My observer is basically doing map hack. And there you go. I'm actually going to re-expand 2 phrase base exactly on the opposite side. And I'm just going to look for, with my zealots, for another base. Where is the hatchery, my friend? Man, this is a hectic game. Jesus Christ. I'm going to try to force him to spend his locust wave. And just run away. This high tempo is going to die. Yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I should say not piss. I mean, you can rest wherever you want, but okay. I think this guy is playing this game pretty well. This is smart what he's doing. Where's the locust? Observer! I have a warp prism, man. I didn't know I had a warp prism. That changes everything. Man, this guy is a... I'm playing against Rogue, my friends. I kid you not. This is Rogue. Okay, these pros are gonna go to this base. This is a happy game. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna load up 2 Immortals. I'm gonna load up 2 Immortals. Let's see what I can do. I'm very, very, very supply blocked. Let's see what I can do. Oh my god, plus 2 Hydras. Jesus fucking Christ, they hurt. Oh my lord. If I miss micro once, I lose this game actually. And as I say that, I almost miss micro again. So the only thing that's giving me a chance in this game is this observer actually. So I will stay in between the bases ready to strike. So that if he launches the wave, I can actually do something. Okay, just launch the things. Is the Hydra still here? Yes, they are. Why can't I kill 2 Hydras? Ooh, maybe not. Okay, I'll just go away. This observer is providing lots of vision. I can kill a Hydra. I can kill 2 Hydras. No, I cannot. So now the wave is on cooldown. I will seize this opportunity to go and kill the Hydras. And I will drop some items like this. How long does it take? Like, it's insane. So I can just do some pickup micro maybe. Sorry, I have to pull my pro gamer magic because this guy, man, this guy is like rogue. Oh my god. Okay, so it all comes down to one thing in this game. This counterattack that we did was not the play. So this is how you analyze actually a replay. When you play an epic game like this, don't say, oh, I should have did X, Y, or Z during the base trade. No, actually comes down to one thing. The correct move in this game, when your opponent's got 26 mushrooms, is just to go into air, probably. Just go into fleet beacon, mothership, carriers, and so on, then the game's pretty easy. Because turns out, locusts don't shoot up, right? But what we could have done also was to not base trade, right? Several pieces of advice I could give somebody who played such a game would be: number one, just camp harder and go into pure late game units, flying units, carriers and so on. And then the locust will cease to be very amazing. Or simply remake an oracle to have vision, because now this guy is just counter-attacking and is just gonna full-on base trade. That's actually a smart move because his army's got 0 chance to decline. So he just goes for a base trade, which is actually the correct decision. Like, let me tell you, this guy called I Hate Terran, if you're watching this video, this guy is actually pretty smart. So very well played by him. But yeah, very smart play by this guy. So here what I should have done was just retreat. I could have sent my zealots, or some of them, to kill this base, kill everything, and just retreat. Maybe towards my natural, for example, recall some of my units, and it would have been a very, very easy game. Right? But going for the full-on base trade was definitely the mistake here. So this is what you can learn from, basically. But that was a pretty epic game. Alright, I think it's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. The next one is going to be Masters 3 to Masters 1, something like that, and then GM. Alright, I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye bye.